Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a fascinating dual-layered reality that literally every single one of us experiences every single day. We're talking about the spectrum of physical and biological stressors. Often when we think of stress, we just picture a frustrating day at the office, right? Or maybe sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic. But biologically and physically, the mechanics of stress run so much deeper than that. Over the course of this explainer, we're going to map out exactly how our bodies experience stress on two completely different, distinct levels. Okay, let's dive into this. Why do we feel stressed? I mean, it seems like a pretty simple, everyday question, right? But the answer is actually split perfectly right down the middle into two very distinct realms. There's the stress we can easily feel building up around us, and then there's the stress that's entirely hidden, just operating silently beneath the surface of our awareness. To really grasp our overall well-being and understand how our bodies function, we absolutely have to look closely at both sides of this equation. First up, Section 1, stressors we can see. So, visible stressors are basically the ones you can feel immediately or gradually after doing or not doing something or performing an activity. This is the realm of pure cause and effect. You make a conscious choice in your day, or hey, maybe you neglect a basic need, and your body gives you real-time, concrete feedback. It's direct, it's obvious, and it's entirely rooted in your daily actions. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the phrase doing or not doing something. We almost always associate physical stress with action, right? Like doing too much, running too fast, working way too hard. But the source material makes it crystal clear that our inaction is just as powerful a trigger. The complete absence of a behavior sends just as strong a stress signal to your bodily system as the presence of a really chaotic one. Let's actually break those actions and inactions down into some everyday examples. With action and movement, well, on one end of the spectrum, we have not exercising at all, literally letting the body stagnate. On the exact opposite end, we have overexercising, pushing our physical limits until our muscles and joints just start breaking down. Then you have those foundational, daily needs, insufficient sleep, and dehydration. I mean, if you aren't drinking enough water or getting enough rest, you feel that stress immediately, don't you? Your headaches, your muscles fatigue, your focus just completely drops. It is an undeniable, immediate physical toll. And this immediate cause and effect rules our diet and physical safety too. Eating high-fat or high-sugar foods, that creates an undeniable physical crash. You know the feeling, you get sluggish, you feel that massive drop in energy. Conversely, starving the system of fuel by not eating for a long time is a huge visible stressor. And obviously, if you get hurt physically or mentally, say you sprain an ankle or go through a sudden emotional trauma, your conscious mind receives a blaring alarm. These are the visible signals telling us exactly what's wrong right when it happens. Let's move to and see how this builds. We have a really clear picture of visible stressors, things we feel immediately or gradually through our active choices. But then we have the invisible stressors. These unseen symptoms represent a massive, mysterious shift in how we need to understand what puts pressure on our bodies. This is where the narrative of human health gets incredibly fascinating. Which brings us to Section 2, the silent, invisible stressors. So the crucial point is that invisible stressors are the ones that you do not feel and actually cannot feel directly. Let that sink in for a second. You cannot feel them directly, but they show up as different negative physical, mental, or emotional symptoms. This is the truly insidious nature of invisible stress. You are completely blind to the root biological cause, all while you suffer from the eventual visible effects. Here's how this biological progression actually unfolds inside you. Step 1, the invisible stressor occurs deep inside your cellular or internal systems. Step 2, it cannot be felt directly. There's literally no pain receptor for this, no immediate headache telling you exactly what just went wrong. And then step 3, the disconnect. Eventually, the hidden issue shows up as negative symptoms, physically, mentally, or emotionally. You might feel exhausted or irritable or achy, but you'll almost always blame it on a visible stressor, completely unaware of the silent internal cascade that actually started the whole shebang back in step 1. And this brilliantly illustrates how these hidden saboteurs usually fall into 3 main categories. First, foundational deficiencies, like lacking vitamin D3, vitamin B12, or magnesium. You don't just feel a sudden drop in B12 right away, but it is deeply stressing your nervous system. Next, we have hidden imbalances, hormones swinging too low or too high, or developing silent insulin resistance over time. Again, this silently shifts your bodily baseline without you even noticing. Finally, there are broader systemic issues like liver or kidney dysfunction or high internal inflammation. Each of these categories carries equal, profound weight. They're entirely different biological mechanisms, yet they all share the exact same trait of operating completely under the radar. Now, let's move to our third and final section, comparing the two stressors. When we put the pieces together, we have conscious actions on one side, the visible choices like skipping lunch, overtraining at the gym, or staying up way too late. You know the answers to these because you consciously live them. But on the other side, we have our internal biology, the hidden inflammation, the subtle vitamin drops, the silent insulin shifts. If you only ever try to fix the conscious actions, you're only ever solving half the puzzle of your overall well-being. To truly thrive, we have to acknowledge, investigate, and manage that silent biology just as rigorously as the visible actions. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway for you today. Think about the physical or mental symptoms you might be experiencing right now in your own life. The lingering fatigue, the unexplained tension, maybe some sudden brain fog. We usually rush to blame the visible actions we took yesterday, but I want to leave you with this final, absolutely vital question. Which unseen biological stressors might be hiding behind your visible negative symptoms? Are you truly treating the hidden root cause, or are you just reacting to the surface alarm? Take a moment to really think about your own internal biology. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and remember to always keep asking those deeper questions.